Okay, on this video, I'm going to work the first probably 5 examples or so that you guys can go back and look at these examples if you need to during the week as you're working on practice problems. Okay, so if I'm going to solve this equation, I'm going to start by subtracting 2 from both sides. So that's going to cancel out. This is going to give me 66 equals 6x. Then divide both sides by 6, and I end up with 11 equals x. You can pause this video. You can try to work the problems first. You can slow me down if you go to settings and slow the speed down. You can speed it up. So do whatever you need to do with this video for you to get the most out of it. Okay, number 3, I'm going to multiply both sides by 13. This means divide by 13. So in order to move the 13, I need to do the opposite of divide, which is multiply. So if I move that over by multiplying, I'm left with m minus 12 equals negative 26. So if I add 12 to both sides, that's gone, and I have m equals negative 14 is my answer. On this one, you actually could work it 2 different ways. You could start by clearing the fraction and multiplying everything by 3. If you do that, you'll have p minus 18 equals negative 27. But I'm going to work it by adding 6 to both sides. We're going to work on clearing fractions later. So if I add 6 to both sides, I'm left with p divided by 3 is equal to negative 3. And then I'm going to multiply both sides by 3 to move that. So that'll cancel, and that gives me a negative 9 on that side. So p equals negative 9. So the next example I'm going to do is number 9. Now, some of you might see that there's a shortcut on this one. We could divide both sides by negative 12 to begin with, but I'm going to go ahead and distribute this because if there was a plus 5 out here or a minus 10, then you wouldn't be able to divide by negative 12. So the safe way is to distribute. So you're going to have 408 is equal to negative 12v, and then plus 84 because you have a minus and you have a negative. Minus a negative becomes plus a positive. Now you have a regular two-step equation to solve. So subtract 84 from both sides. So that's going to give me 324. Bring down negative 12v, and then you're ready to divide my negative 12 on both sides. And definitely don't feel bad about using a calculator for some of this division. So 324 divided by negative 12, especially if you're uncomfortable with your negatives. Try to do the negatives in your head. Okay, so if you were to divide that, you'd get 27, but a positive divided by a negative gives you a negative. So try to do the negatives in your head, but definitely use your calculator to make sure that you're getting it correct. Okay, so the next one is like I talked about, if this would have had a plus 5 on the end, you wouldn't be able to divide by negative 12 at the beginning. So this is like that. We have a negative 1 minus 6 times this. So we can't take the shortcut of dividing everything by negative 6. So I'm going to distribute that negative 6 through there. So the 191 is going to stay the same, and the negative 1 is going to stay the same, and then that's going to be minus 54n, and then plus 30, because I have a negative 6 and a negative 5. That makes a positive 30. At this point, you have several options. I would put the 30 and the minus 1 together and have a negative or a positive 29. You could add 1 to both sides and then subtract 30 from both sides, but I would put them together. I would combine like terms. So that'll give me 29 minus 54n. Or you could write negative 54n plus 29. There's no difference in the order because this is addition and subtraction, so you can add 29 first or at the end. So I'm going to subtract 29 from both sides. So 191 minus 29 is 162. And then I have, don't forget this negative. This minus becomes a negative. So it's negative 54n. Divide both sides by negative 54. and you get -3. N is equal to -3. Okay, so those are the first 5 examples. I will post other videos doing more examples on this worksheet.